there, Bloomers and friends. Rev Kev coming to you on the week after Pride weekend. We had probably one of the best ever Pride weekend festivities in the history of Bloom. It just had a good feeling from beginning to end. The Friday night interfaith Shabbat service was almost 300 people. It was a beautiful time of singing and readings. We were able also to have this be a time of showing support for the Jewish community after the terrible events that happened in Pittsburgh. And it was also a time when both our mayor and our congressperson Ruiz came and joined us and offered their own brief insights, and participated in the readings. I was just amazed at what a wonderful time that particular service was. And then, under the direction of Rich Flickling and all of his volunteers, we were able to be a witness to the community by hosting the Shower of Stoles that you've been reading about. It was just, I'm thinking there's going to be some pictures elsewhere in Bloom Notes that will show that. I do know that we have a little video that I'm trying to get uploaded through Carl, and I also know if we don't have it this time, there's going to be a video of all of the events at Temple Isaiah, so we'll post that as soon as we can. That was just a really wonderful time. Folks did come and visit the Stoles on Saturday and Sunday in the afternoons as well, and Sunday morning we had a good turnout in our group in the parade, and they say there's 150,000 people along the parade route. I didn't count every single one, but I do feel like with the parade route being about a quarter of a mile longer, it does seem like there were certainly as many as before, and maybe some new ones. And the thing about it is, all of that is impressions of Bloom in the community, and there were 5 different places where an announcer announced who we were and used the phrase, whoever you are and wherever you are in the journey of faith, you are welcome at Bloom. And so we were really grateful for that particular weekend, and for all of the great events, and all of the volunteers from Bloom that made things happen. That's really great. I also know that we have another parade coming up. As a part of our being involved in the community, we've been approached by the people who do these parades, and they would like Bloom and other organizations, religious and other nonprofit organizations, to participate in the Veterans Day Parade and in the Christmas parade, as well as the Black History Month Parade. So we're planning to be a part of all of those, and we're really grateful to Russ Bertlow and Stephen Hart for their golf cart, which is a core of dependability for us in making these parade appearances. Now, this Sunday is Veterans Day, and we at Bloom are going to recognize that. It's one of the years. It was 6 years ago that this happened again, when Veterans Day, November 11th, falls on a Sunday. A very special aspect of this year is that it's the 100th anniversary of the signing of the armistice, which some of us of a certain age who had history classes way back when might remember. That Armistice Day was the day when we got up out of our chairs at 11 o'clock and sirens sounded in the town, and we stood by our desks in class at 11 o'clock for a moment of silence because of it being the 11th hour on the 11th day. Back in 1918. It also was a signing of the armistice that was supposed to be the peace document that would end all wars. World War I, as we call it, or the Great War, as the Brits call it, was understood to be the war to end all wars. And we know, of course, that didn't happen. What's also interesting, and not many people know, is that nobody has ever rescinded the signing of that armistice. It is in effect. What's happening is that all of us who are doing wars are violating it. And that is just, one of the tragedies of humanity. And it really is a tragedy, because the tragic flaw is that people, and the tragic fall, that are parts of a literary tragedy, both of those things are happening by the actions of the countries that are not living up to the tenets of the signing of the armistice. Some people say that actually led to World War II, but that's a whole nother discussion. I have one more thing I wanted to say about this, and that's that we at Bloom, while we're a peace and justice congregation, we honor our veterans in the same way as Jesus honored the centurion. And when I say that about the centurion, what I mean is that one of the healing stories is that oftentimes it's glossed over when we talk about the healing of the centurion servant. It's like centurion servant is the first and last name of this person who is being healed. When in reality, the centurion is an officer in the Roman Guard and was the highest paid person, in the Roman Guard. And the servant was most likely a same-sex partner or was a mentor, but it is pretty clear that the Greek word that's used is pais, P-A-I-S, and that in English transliteration, but that is understood to be someone who was in a sexual relationship between two people. And so it is very clear two things in that. One, Jesus provided healing to the servant of the centurion, and the centurion being a part of the Roman war machine, Jesus did not, shy away from that, but did basically provide the healing to the person in the association. And secondly, it was a situation that many scholars feel was a same-gender relationship. Jesus provided healing in that situation as well. So that might be something you've never heard about before, and I hope that wasn't too PG, and I didn't give you a warning ahead of time to take the children out of the room like they do on television, but that is something that we ought to keep in mind, that we respect veterans, we respect soldiers for the work that they do, and we want to always provide healing and nurture and care for people who are called upon to do this kind of work and feel a calling for that to be their life work. So that is one of also the reasons why we as a Peace and Justice Church appear in the Veterans Day Parade, not as a jingoistic kind of my country right or wrong, but as a support to the human beings that God created who are involved in the defending of our nation. I hope you can be with us. If you're a veteran, come ride or walk in the parade with us this Sunday. Be there by 3 o'clock. Down by near Ramon and Palm Canyon. This parade goes the opposite route from the Pride Parade, so down there somewhere by the Bank of America building is where we'll be lining up. We're number 59, did you say, Russ? Yeah, so we're contingent number 59. Come be with us. And be with us on Sunday morning when we acknowledge our veterans as well and look forward to that time together. Special music, special readings. It'll be great. If you can't be with us in body, please be with us in spirit. And as always, please keep us in your prayers.